Rachel Kerr-Schneider. Thanks for joining me today. Today I have the wonderful privilege and opportunity to share with you a lady who has been a part of my life for a really long time. And actually, she worked with John when they were both together at Peterbilt Motors. Kay bears the distinction of being the one and only ever female regional manager in a very male-dominated world of trucks. Peterbilt 18-wheelers. You may have seen one or two on the road. But even more than that, Kay shares a special bond with me because she was widowed at the age of 50. She lost her soulmate, Steve, to cancer. She is a woman of great faith, and we have kept in touch all of these years. And recently we had a chance to talk about what this journey of widowhood has been. She's now 9 years into it. And of course, I'm just only 13, 14 months. So I would invite you to listen to Kay as she shares for just a few moments what this journey has meant to her, what her faith has meant to her as she has walked this road. And I believe that you will find some encouragement no matter what your challenge is. I believe that Kay will touch your heart as she has touched mine.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm very happy to be here. It's quite an honor. You're an inspiration to me and to so many others, and I hope what I share today will help others also. As you know, I met my husband, Steve, after years of being single. I was married to my career, a very successful career with a Fortune 500 company, and I loved every minute of my career. And I was not looking when I met him. It was destiny. And we met, and we connected, and we started talking and visiting, and after a couple of years of courtship, long distance, we married, and we had altogether a wonderful 6.5 years together, just a little being married over 4. So our life was great, and we were enjoying traveling together and playing a lot of golf and having friends to visit us in South Florida. And it was a perfect life. And the one thing we also shared was our faith. And we like to joke that we were Whiskeypedians, otherwise known as Episcopalians, Anglican, that is. And one day in January, Steve and I were having breakfast, and he kind of choked on his cereal, which was unusual. And it was like, okay, you just got choked. And then about 2 weeks later, he choked again. And it's like, okay. And then we had a friend visiting us from North Carolina, and we went out to dinner. And during dinner, he got severely choked and had to get up and leave the table and step outside. And it's like, okay, that's enough. You're going to the doctor tomorrow. And he did. He went to the doctor the next morning, and the doctor wasn't overly concerned, felt like it was possibly a hiatal hernia or something, and said, okay, but we're going to do an endoscopy. So that was scheduled for Friday of that week. And we got up that morning, went to the endoscopy clinic, and before we left there, the doctor called me in and said, I can tell you right now without a biopsy that I've seen enough of this to know that this is cancerous. We just do not know how severe it is at this point. So then we had to go for more tests and found out within a few days that it was stage 4 esophageal cancer and inoperable. Nothing they could do, and basically gave us a diagnosis of probably less than 6 months, a year if you're lucky. Of course, this isn't what you want to hear by any means, and we both felt like we had finally got it right in our lives, and everything was working out so well. So we took off to Tampa and got a second opinion at Moffitt Cancer Center, and then actually went on to New York to Memorial Sloan Kettering. And they did give us a little better diagnosis that it was not as spread as they thought originally, that it wasn't in the lungs, even though it was in the liver, and it did eventually go to his brain. But we endured those treatments, and we endured those together. And we would go for chemo, and I would pack a lunch or run out and get us something, and We took music and we took books and we took cards and we took games and we went through it together. And I was very blessed because sometimes I think we question, and you and I discussed this, is it easier if somebody's taken quickly, or is it easier if you have that time and you have that diagnosis and that time? The nice thing about having the time is that we didn't leave too much unsaid. It gave us time to share with one another and to discuss those things that needed to be discussed. Yes, there's still days that I think, okay, I wished I'd told you this, but I still think you hear me, you know. And the way I got through it after the cancer did go to the brain, and we had a good quality of life for probably 14 months, and the last month was very difficult, and to see, you know, the progression of the disease, and that's when you realize that God is merciful, because it becomes merciful when they take their last breath and you know that they've gone on to their heavenly home and they're whole and they're complete and they're not suffering. So I do, you know, thank God for His mercy in that respect. And then it's like, I think you've almost grieved from the moment the diagnosis was given, and it doesn't really hit you then for a couple of years after that. One of the best things that helped me was a book called Healing After Loss, which I shared a copy with you after John's passing. And I believe the author is Martha Whitmore Hickman. And it's a daily devotional. And I have given that book to several people. And 9 years later, I still read it daily. It still gets me through every day. That and my faith and my church family and my friends. And I'm a firm believer that friends are the family we choose for ourselves. And I've been very blessed with friends that have stayed in touch, who've continued to welcome me into their home, who've come to my home and visited with me. We've vacationed together. I'm blessed with 2 wonderful children and 2 beautiful grandchildren, and life is good. And I'm thankful every day for the opportunities that I have. And I hope in some way that I can pay it forward and help someone else, because I know what it is to lose your soulmate. So what I'd like to share with you in closing is that there are probably 3 things I would encourage you to hold fast to. One is your family and your friends. They're a valuable asset. They love you in spite of anything that you say or do. They forgive you usually in spite of anything you say or do, and they will be there for you. And it's okay to say, hey, I need you. It's okay to say, I'm not having a great day. Do you have a few minutes to talk to me? Sometimes they're more uncomfortable in approaching you and saying, what can I do? So it's okay to ask for help. And secondly, my faith. God is steadfast. He's there no matter what time of the day or the night. And He's true. And He gives you comfort and peace that passes all understanding, as the scriptures say. And last but not least, hold fast to your memories, because that's one thing no one can take away from you, no one can alter, and they belong entirely to you. And they can bring you hours of comfort during moments of distress. Thanks.